What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Slackers. But if nobody watches this, does this video actually exist? Good question. Luckily, somebody will watch it, I hope. Either way, we are here back again today to do our final roster prediction. There are still 6 characters that have yet to be officially revealed, although we have the box art thing, the rumor, not the rumor, is that actual leak, but the box art has shown 3 characters, so we kind of know that. Stage theory might come into a factor for some people when trying to decide the roster. Trying to decide which stages might still be left and who they could go to is anybody's guess, but we got a quick roster, well, the final roster prediction for Nickelodeon All Star Brawl, and I say we just jump straight into it. Now, I did put a lot of thought in time and effort, and I kind of switched off some picks here and there throughout the whole thing. So let me just start off by the first one, which is going to be Rocco from Rocco's Modern Life. I don't think anyone's going to be too surprised if Rocco ends up happening. He did have the kind of recent somewhat revival. He had that special made about him, and you know, just plus he's got the 90s nostalgia factor in it as well, and there kind of seems to be quite a bit of that in this roster, although there's, you know, it's not all 90s characters, but you know, Rocco being a character, and he's being used in other Nickelodeon games as well. I think he was in Kart Racer, wasn't he, in like Super Brawl Universe, I believe. So it's not like Rocco's just kind of like some forgotten one. He's still fairly relevant. Nickelodeon doesn't really just kind of leave him out there to dry like some of their other cartoons that they've had. So I think Rocco's nothing outside the box thinking. A lot of people might expect it, but I do too. I think Rocco is not, there's nobody that's a lock that we haven't already seen, but I think he's close to being up there as confirmed as can get, well, without being actually confirmed. So let's move on to the second character, which happens to be, I mean, this isn't a surprise either, so might as well just show off the next one as well. Aang and, well, look at that, Korra. What a surprise, what a shocker, right? Look, let me state this. Obviously, the box art thing is well, it's a real thing, so anybody not expecting Aang and Korra to be in the roster, you might be in for a very big surprise then. But even if the box art wasn't on here, I still feel multiple Avatar characters would have gotten in regardless. I do think Aang, Korra, Zuko for me would probably be the big 3 that I would expect to happen. So Aang and Korra would definitely have been on my roster, no doubt. And speaking of, well, a third Avatar character, this is where stage theory kind of comes in to a factor for me. It's kind of weird because right now I'm still on the fence about the whole thing being, you know, legit. The 22 stages matching up with the 22 characters. Basically, each character gets one individual home stage. So for me, I guess I'm kind of leaning a bit more towards that. I kind of believe that. So my third character, since we've seen a third Avatar stage, and you know, the Western, the Air Temple was proven to not be a rotating transitional stage. Yeah, we should have 3 Avatar characters, and I kind of thought about this for a while. I thought about Zuko, I thought about other characters. Ultimately, I did settle on Toph. That, I don't know, Toph just kind of makes a lot of sense in my opinion for several reasons, mainly because, I don't know, Earth Kingdom sort of tie-in somewhat makes sense. I wanted to try to go maybe a little bit wacky when it came to the picks, because we've seen that Ludosity does, and they've been able to push for sort of wacky, maybe not the, you know, number 1 or number 2 characters in a show. You know, like for example, Powder Toast Man. Would anybody have really expected him to be a part of a roster like this? Or Nigel Thornberry, for example. So it's cool that Ludosity is able to kind of push the boundaries in a way. So, you know, maybe going down the roster for the Avatar series overall, even the spin-off like The Legend of Korra, I think Toph definitely should be considered, no doubt. And I honestly, that would be my leading contender, which is why I ended up picking her for this for the roster spot. So we only got 2 left. We do know that, well, Ren and Stimpy, they're also on the box art, so no surprise there. But this one was, I am so torn on this, whether I think they're going to be a 2-in-1 character or 2 separate characters. I honestly, even talking right now, I'm still not decided on what I'm going to settle on, but I think ultimately they will be a 2-in-1 character, but I'm not convinced whether they are a 2-in-1 or whether they're two separate. I'm not convinced either way. I don't know if anyone could convince me on that fact, but I did settle on a 2-in-1 character, Ren and Stiffy. Yes, they are both in the game. Again, box art thing, blah, blah, blah. And they probably would, even if they weren't on the box art, same thing with Aang and Korra, they would most likely be on a roster prediction or, expected list, a want list, whatever you want to call it. So, easy there. Which leads me to my last and final character. Now, kind of going back to what I was mentioning a little bit with Toph, where Ludosity's kind of picking some characters that might not be the, top most wanted. So, for me, there's definitely characters that stand out that go, I want. And then you kind of get lower and lower on the list as you go along through all these characters. So, for me, kind of factoring in a whole bunch of different things, I ultimately settled on another character that they get talked about a little bit, but I could see them being more of like a surprise in a way. Like, all right, we didn't expect that. We knew that could be possible, but we didn't really expect this type of character. So for my last pick, I ended up going with Daggett and Norbert, the Angry Beavers. This one I do think they could do another 2-in-1 type of character. They could end up having, somewhat similar moves. Maybe strong attacks might be the same. Maybe a couple light attacks might be the same, because they're essentially the same hitbox, the same character. It's just kind of different skins to it, to a degree. So they're like Echo Fighters in a way, but I think the special attacks, you can really come up with some really creative stuff. I will have an Angry Beavers Yay or Nay episode, hopefully this upcoming weekend, and I'll kind of dive into that just a little bit more, but you can make both of them unique, but you can also make them somewhat the same because they're both Beavers and they're both going to kind of, do the same. So for me, yeah, I think we will get one more sort of surprise, if you will, type character, and that's where I'm going to go with the Angry Beavers. Again, they might not be the most likely, but I do think Ludosity still has at least one more surprise type pick, a character that's not being discussed as much as others. Now, again, somebody will mention, where's Timmy, Jimmy, and Jenny? I want all three of them in the game, no doubt. 100%. I just don't think I don't think any of them will happen for base roster. I would love to substitute all three of them in here if I could, but, well, I can't, and maybe DLC is a thing. Again, this game has been blowing up hype-wise quite a bit over the past number of weeks, right? And it's really good to see so many people are like, hey, I'm going to make content on this. I'm going to be, all these people just all of a sudden are jumping on board. It's like, all right, cool. Now people are getting interested, There's people like me, a lot of the viewers, we've been here since, the initial reveal trailer. We're excited for the game. Can't wait to see what it is. And we just hope that all these people that are saying, oh yeah, I'm going to buy the game, I'm going to play the game, hopefully they do. Because the more people that possibly buy this game, the more possible that it becomes that we do get DLC. Maybe it does come in the form of a Fighter's Pass type thing, or maybe it's just, a DLC character that gets released every so often. Maybe it's not a bundle whatsoever. It's just, all right, yeah, maybe every 2 to 3 months we might drop another character for you guys, or something like that. So I do hope that people that are saying that they're going to support the game, that they do support it. They go out and buy the game, play it, enjoy it for what it is. Who cares if it doesn't have voice acting? Yes, it's a little bit of a pain, but it's just the game. That's a different topic. I'm not going to go down that road. That's it. That's my video for today. There's my final roster prediction. Rocco, I guess the ones that are not on the box art, I'm predicting Rocco, Toph, and Angry Beavers. 2-in-1 character. Actually, now that I think about it, I have two 2-in-1 characters on here. That's interesting. But that is it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed as always. And I guess I'll see you when I'm looking at you.